Hello, my name is Rumbrun, and this is the 25th episode of my Minecraft Survival Let's Play series. Welcome. So, the reason why I have some magma blocks in my inventory, and have a whole lot of them, is because I was able to build a magma cube farm in my last episode of this series. And the reason why I wanted to build that is I wanted to get the magma blocks that I need to finish decorating the magma tunnel. Um, did I say magma tunnel? I mean the tunnel in the nether fortress. So I built this pathway that runs straight to another fortress. You can see the start of another fortress down there. Um, I this part used to be all carpeted, and I ripped that out to make some more magma cubes spawn so I could farm them, but I have an actual farm now. So I'm going to replace that carpet, and then I have some rockets. Let me fly over and show. So this was what I was working on earlier, but we need more. We need to go all the way down somewhere here. Yeah, I need magma blocks all the way up to there. And now I have a farm to help me with that. So I'm going to do that. And that's probably going to be all that I do for the episode this time. And that's going to be a very boring thing to watch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a story while you can watch me do this. Because I don't actually know how else to make a video out of this. So, yeah, enjoy. Amira reached forward and touched her dragon, Amethyst, on the portion of her scales that was just past the saddle. Her riding glove had a small hole in the index finger, which allowed her skin to touch the scales of her dragon. "We're almost back to the Tanyan," she remarked telepathically. "Thank goodness," Amethyst replied. "I don't know why the captain sent us on such a long fight. It's because he knew that you are the strongest flyer." Amethyst snorted a small burst of flames, and Amira could tell that although the dragon appreciated the compliment, she was still upset. There was no reason for us to scout out that far. Even if there were Jinn out there, they would be no threat to us, or Mudeno. Amira sighed. She missed Mudeno. The ocean was beautiful. She loved the deep blue below her and how its playful waves were so different from the still sky above. But she missed the rich smells of home. She missed the colorful cloths. She missed the busy pathways. And she missed her brother, Arjun. He didn't have a dragon, so he hadn't been invited to go with the Tanyan. It had been a full 3 months since she'd last seen him. "Well," she said to Amethyst, "that scouting mission is what the captain commanded us to do, so it's what we did." Amethyst grumbled at that, but didn't have anything to retort with. The two of them flew in silence until they reached the Tanyan. The Tanyan had been a rush job. They hadn't had any boats big enough to house several dragons and their riders in Mudeno, so when the news of the Jinn reached them, Mudeno rushed to construct the Tanyan. It was a jumbled mess of logs and metal and cloth. When Amira had first seen it, she had been sure that it would immediately collapse when it hit the water, and every day she had stayed on the boat, she had been convinced that it wouldn't last another day. But it had been 3 months, and it was still intact. Amethyst circled above the ship a few times, then landed on the deck. Amira slid off, and the two of them walked to their rooms. Amethyst had a tall room covered in purple cloth and a few pieces of gold and gems that she favored. Amira had a small room that was attached, which was much smaller. There was a cot, which was actually surprisingly comfortable. Other than their sleeping arrangements, there were hooks on the wall to store their armor. Amira moved her light armor that she had worn for the journey, then helped Amethyst to remove hers. Let's go give the captain our report, shall we? Amira said. Amethyst nodded, and they made their way to the captain's quarters. None of them actually knew his name. He was just the captain. The captain didn't let anyone into his private quarters, but he often met with people in his dragon's room. He was already there when Amira and Amethyst arrived. He nodded to them, then all three of them sat down, with Amira and the captain each touching one of Amethyst's wings. How was your scouting mission? The captain asked aloud. It was uneventful, Amira replied. We flew north by northeast until we hit land. That was around 50 miles out, by my calculations, Amethyst communicated. Since Amira and the captain were both touching her, they could hear her telepathic comments. And what did you find? The captain asked. There were no jinn. The ground was very muddy, Amethyst said. There was barely any solid land to stand on, Amira added. There were a lot of trees there, very bent over, but I saw very few plants that we can eat, as well as very few animals. Amethyst nodded. There didn't seem to be many signs of life around, hostile or harmless. The captain sighed. Amira was pretty sure that he had sent out a lot of scouts because he was looking for something and it hadn't been found yet, but she had no idea what they were looking for. They had just been told to watch for Jinn, and surely the captain didn't want them to find those monsters. They were dangerous. The captain dismissed them, and Amethyst and Amira headed back to their rooms. As they walked, Amira rested a hand on Amethyst's side. There's something going on that the captain is not telling us. I thought you said we just needed to follow the captain's instructions, Amethyst retorted. Amira removed her hand with a hump. Well, the story is done, and the tunnel is done. I'm just going to ignore that gas and hope nothing bad happens. But yeah, look at this tunnel goes all the way down to our blaze spawner. So that is great. And then you can fly all the way back to run from the blazes. Yeah, but I enjoyed writing that short little story and telling it to you guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comments below if you want me to continue the same story the next time I do an episode like this, because as I was writing it, I was just coming up with a bunch of extra details that don't belong in the story. For example, I know what the captain is looking for, or I at least have a vague idea, and I don't know, just tell me what you would prefer. The next time I do one of these episodes, do you think I should continue the same story in the same world, or do you think I should make an entirely new story? Yeah, that is what I want your opinion on. Anyways, that's going to be all for the episode today, because it did take a while to make this glowy tunnel. So, thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I will catch you next time.